Now, 95.9 FM WATD presents Friends with Benefits, exploring relationships, social issues, and life stories. Be a part of the show at 781-837-4900. Friends with Benefits with your host, Brian Stratton.
.9 WATD, Friends with Benefits here, Wednesday night. Boy, that was a little scrum to get to the monitor there. But I'd like to thank everybody who's been on the air tonight and introduce my round table. We got Gabe Sirota.
How you doing? Good to see you. I
finally got that right?
Not exactly. Sirota.
I didn't get it right.
No, you never get it right.
It's all right.
So we got to get Paul Kearney going on his switching thing there, too.
Hey, Brian.
Thanks.
Can you hear me?
Thank you for filling in last week, Paul.
Oh, it was fun. Thanks.
Lots of good comments, so that was good.
We had a good time.
Yeah, you guys definitely did what you had to do and made things happen.
And who do we got? Ryan back there? Was
back? Ryan here last week?
Yeah, Ryan was here last week.
Yeah,
I was here last week.
Ryan did a good job.
They do all right, Ryan, or what?
No, it was good. Good show.
He had to carry it. Carry it. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I know last week, Paul, you went over a bunch of topics. What was it, the 25 ways to make a woman happy or something?
Yep, 25.
Which, by the way, you'd never hear me doing that one ever, that show. Because I'm not like the Dr. Phils or the Steve Harveys out there who they planted in men's heads that it's imperative, it's for a man to be the one to, you know what I mean? I think it's a 50-50 thing. I think there should be 25 reasons
no doubt about
for both sides.
Yeah, but I mean...
You know.
Oh, so you want to do 25 ways to make a man happy? Is that what you want?
They only listen. It doesn't get the 25. There's like 2 or 3. That's all they got to do.
That's
There's
so
like
true.
2 or 3.
Right. We don't need listening.
We need a 25.
You don't have to tell us
25
anything.
is scratch. 25 is scratching the surface. And there's probably another 25 after that.
Yeah, I'm very generally easy to please.
You are.
Yeah, generally.
And I'm not even going to say on the air what that is, but I'm sure.
Well, I have news for you. You have no idea. But,
I do. I can read.
No, but I thought when we read 25 last week, I was like, that's a lot.
I agree with you. Guys are probably less. But if you think about it,
far less.
What do you want out of it? What would make you happy?
Just the basic stuff. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
some good respect, attention, that kind of stuff,
basic
and cooperation, obedience.
Yeah. I mean, stuff that was on that list.
Sounds like a lot. You're almost at 25, Brian.
He's like, just the basic. He keeps going. Cooperation, obedience. Right. Yeah, what do you like? You like when you open the door and she smiles at you. That's a nice thing. Little easy things, stuff
she's
like that.
Got to smile, right? That means, in other words, she's got to like you.
I'm happy to see you, that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, but, they expect a diamond ring, on their finger.
Well, some do.
Not just a diamond ring, but, gift cards.
Speaking of diamond rings,
always good.
I'm coming up to and I want to wish my wife, we're going to have our 10th year anniversary coming up soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's a big year.
It feels like 10 days. It's been great.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
Good for you. Good for you, man.
Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Where are you going to go for that one? What are you going to do?
I've been spending the last 4 hours trying to figure out where to go. And without, it's hard to go without the kids. So I had something lined up for Puerto Rico and then...
Fell through.
Well... we're trying to still figure it out. But something, what would you suggest I do, Brian?
Go to Foxwoods. I don't know.
Foxwoods? No.
It's a joke. It's a joke. He was talking about the casinos last week.
Yeah, but as long as it's in Connecticut, I don't care. I just keep it out of our state. That's all.
All right.
What's too good for that crap?
Yep.
Well, I don't know. A 10-year anniversary, that's...
significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Patriots game.
Patriots game. Wow, Brian. No, actually, I was thinking maybe an inn. Oh, cheapest. I was thinking maybe an inn up in Maine. I guess
that sounds like a good idea. Do something like go up to an inn in Vermont or something. A beautiful weekend away just for you guys.
Right. So what? You're not the romantic type, Bray?
That sounds really exciting to me. I'll tell you. Really.
Wow. What's your exciting? What would be an exciting
I just told
weekend?
you the Patriots game, Foxwoods.
Yeah. Courtside with the Celtics.
Courtside with the Celtics. Maybe a great concert. Go see like Paul McCartney or something.
Wow, no,
God,
wow.
you put me to sleep.
Yeah, see, that's where we differ, Paul.
You'd sit there.
That's
with
why
Paul
you have so many
McCartney
problems in life.
I'm not getting in the middle of that one.
But so
you're not a lot of help. That's all.
No, I'm zero.
I wish I could.
By the way, you're going to get kicked out of the house if you listen to my suggestions. You'll be living at my house
in your cellar
in 10 days.
Yeah, I'll be in the cellar.
I'd give you the spare couch in the den. I would do that for you.
Yeah, there's enough space.
There's plenty of space.
Yeah.
No thanks.
He's an over.
I've never had a 10-year relationship with anything. Probably not even my car yet. So
your pet rock.
Actually,
actually,
it was just such a good time. It was 2004 when the Sox won it all. We went to Hawaii, and I was watching the Yankees at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And watching it here. I remember those drawn-out games. They were like 5-6 games.
And you're at 2 o'clock the afternoon. The game's over for you.
Met this couple. They're all Yankees fans. They work for Pepsi, all the bad stuff, right? And I'm like, they're saying, sorry. We're basically before, I think it was
before Johnny Damon had the 3 home runs or whatever.
No. Who stole second base?
Dave Roberts.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yep.
So before that happened, they had left, and you guys know what happened, obviously. And then we were switching planes, and we got to meet up with that couple. It was so cool.
So you're face to face
with the Yankees fans saying yes, and then
how pissed off were they?
So
Lord!
It was what was so cool is the whole country was voting for the Red Sox, especially out west. Rooting, yes. Voting. Pumping it up.
He's doing the politics.
I know one guy who was not rooting for the Red Sox.
It's Gabe.
You're looking at
Sirota.
Really?
Gabe Sirota.
Gabe Sirota. That's my name. That's right. Yep. And I'm gonna tell you first and last and forever. Go Yankees.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, are you gonna go see Jeter this weekend?
No, I'm not gonna see Jeter. I mean, come on already.
Are the Yankees out of it?
I care about him. Yes, the Yankees are done. Wow. I care about him, but to wear a patch. The guy's still alive. It doesn't make sense to me. Right. And they're giving him this farewell. And listen, he's a great player. I would love to. I'm happy he was on my team for all those years. But it seems a little bit too much. He goes to every town. It's his last game in Kansas City ever. So they give him this, surfboard or whatever.
Give him the key to the key to.
It's a little bit too much. Yeah. But the guy did it right.
No, he's a class act and the whole deal.
Class act, and he never got married, so he can happily be with whomever he
never got married.
No,
never got married.
Wow, poor bastard.
Not so far.
I wouldn't say that. I think he's probably escaped a lot of that.
No kids.
No
I don't really. That is sad.
No kids.
That's really sad.
That's really sad.
He's only 38 or 40.
Right,
yeah, that's true. I started getting yeah.
When did you start having
40.
kids? 40.
40. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I'm in my second trimester, and I'm still
I hate to say it. I had 4 kids by the time I was 31.
Nice.
Right. Well,
some people will do it real early.
Yeah.
You don't mess around, man. You take care of business.
You get that out of the way. Get that right out of the way. That way you're a young dad. You're out there, playing all the sports with them, and you're doing all that stuff.
Well, you know what? I beg to differ on that. It's all depends on how you act. I mean, if you got some dads that don't even play baseball or softball with their kids. I'm out there all the time, teaching my.
Well,
kids
you got energy of a 20-year-old anyway.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, it just depends on where you're at. Like Jeter could have, and I hope him all the well. And
I hope he
does.
He'll be a good dad. I bet.
Yeah.
I bet he would be. Better than A-Rod. But
yeah,
is he a dad?
Got all kinds
He's a dad.
I'm sure he is.
A-Rod has a couple of kids, I think.
Whether he knows it or not.
I don't know.
But I want to get to Ryan's got some things queued up for me to play. I wanted to go over this new trailer for a movie. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but it's called Divorce Corp. C-O-R-P. We're going to play the trailer of the movie. It's just a minute, and it goes over what this movie's about. Do you know Dr. Drew? Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah, I know.
He has that talk show,
Uh-huh.
and he's, I wouldn't call him a complete expert, but he's the narrator of this. This is about a guy who graduated from Harvard, a biologist, a genius, but he changed his profession in his early 40s to become a movie director for divorce kind of documentaries, because when he was getting divorced, he sat through 2 days in a family courtroom and watching non-custodial parents get treated like second-class citizens. And he said it was just jaw-dropping. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. He's like, is this America? Is this really happening? And it's happening all over the country. Ryan, when we get to the first trailer.
It's very frustrating to have gone for help and then come out with your family destroyed.
We have serious problems in our family law court system.
Getting divorced is far from easy.
Litigation lasted for over a year.
I was married only 4 months, and my divorce has lasted over 6.5 years.
Close to 8 years.
8 years.
Why is divorce so difficult?
People can get as much justice as they can afford. Most people cannot afford any justice at all.
What's wrong with that? This is a business.
The more you charge, the more people are willing to pay.
They didn't give me a lawyer. Pay this $11,000 or go to jail. It really got to the end of the line for me.
And I said to the litigants, I want you to know, after 2 hours, we will have spent more than most people in this courthouse make in a year.
Your home, your valuables are all going to be sold to pay the lawyers and people like me.
Even though I was acquitted, he still made a decision to take my son away from me. His birthday was last week, and I didn't get to see him.
What you have is a tinderbox, and the lawyers are throwing gasoline on that fire.
The system is designed to create conflict.
I received a phone call for another $25,000. He'd be able to give us what we wanted. Extortion?
Family court results in more violence than any other area of law.
Deaths, suicide, murder.
No jury, just the one biased judge.
The judge says, even if you win, you have to pay.
The whole thing is just insane.
Follow the money.
So that's just a short trailer for the movie Divorce Corp. It's a documentary, and it just depicts and goes over people that have experienced the family court system, have been a part of it, have witnessed. Like that was Gloria. Who is that?
Wow.
What is that lawyer's name? She's like 60.
Allred.
Gloria
Allred.
Allred.
Yeah.
That's her. That was her thing. That you get what you can afford. Mm-hmm. So basically, if you're penniless or you're broke,
right,
you're done in the court because you can't afford a good lawyer. It all comes down to the games of what lawyers the judges know and all that. The power plays. It happens in every small town and every small community.
And Brian, that is very eye-opening to say that you go to some courthouses and you think criminal courthouses. You don't really think about what's going on in the other courthouses. I mean, we know the Supreme Court right down to all these courts, and I've never saw anything or heard anything like that in my life, to be honest. But you're right. I mean, that's what it's about. It's about who's got enough money to win in that court.
Do yourself a favor and go to this Divorce Corp, C-O-R-P. They make it sound, it's a corporation, it's a business.
Yeah.
It's the Institute of Marriage, and divorce is the business. So,
like they said, they fuel the fire. That was a huge one.
Well, they put gasoline
and
on
they do
fire.
that not only in some situations
I won't
too.
say all of them,
It's really sometimes it's collusion between the lawyers.
No
I mean,
question about it.
You know, it's hey, what's your client worth? Well, what's your client
absolutely.
doing? What's in it for me? And if you honestly in business, it's the same way. Yeah. If you don't have a trusted attorney, and thank God I do, I don't think you can last in business. I mean, it's how much are they going to do, but how much are they going to protect you, and how much are they going to go to bat for you? Because that can happen as well.
Well, that goes without saying. I mean, in business, you want to be protected, and in a divorce, needless to say, you want to be protected, but at the same time, it's more than protection.
You don't want to fuel the fire either. I mean, right. you got to be level-headed. You got to work it out,
and rarely,
you got to stay cool.
Well. You heard that woman say she was married 4 months. Her divorce has gone on 6 years.
Wow.
That's absurd.
But the thing is now, out of, you know what? This divorce litigation is almost like the casinos, throwing good money after bad.
Right.
And it's almost like it's a big, like, I've heard of people fighting over the living room furniture, and they'll extend it to another court date. And what they don't realize is both people might have paid $2,000 for their lawyers individually.
There's $4,000.
There's $4,000
to fight over $2,000.
To fight over $2,000.
Yeah, you're right.
That's my point.
It's useless, just like the casinos.
And it starts, you might as well go to the casino because you're throwing your money out the window, and at least at the casino you have a 5% chance of winning. At this you have 0.
Right.
And you're right. The collusion. That's a very great point, Paul.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And as long as it goes, what do you care? Honestly, you're making money at a $250-300 an hour, and they got into a fight last night. Great. Oh, you guys got into a fight.
I love it.
And maybe I even had to bail him out of jail as an attorney. They're going to cha-ching, cha-ching,
Yeah.
A lot of the time with the some attorneys, I'm not going to say all of them because there are good ones out there.
Yep.
And Phil Markella, who is part of this show and sponsors us, I've seen him. I've sent many clients his way. Believe me, I've probably sent him from the show since it started 15 divorces.
Yeah.
And I watch him in action in court, and I watch him. Sometimes I go with these people, and I watch how he is very reasonable, very honest about it. He doesn't want anything to drag on. He just wants everybody to be happy.
Right. And there's a lot of, you know what, you're
he's
so
in the
right.
minority,
I'm not
though.
saying that.
He's in the
I'm
minority.
not saying the attorneys are all out there collusion. I'm just saying that it's hard. The way, it's not the people, it's the way it's set up. Like that documentary said, it's caused to fail. I mean, when you look at it just even to change, and we had a whole show on this.
Sure.
Just to change your what are they called when you have to pay your child support payments?
Yes.
When you have to pay your child support payments, you have to go through a process that's legal yet arguable. It's a negative process.
Oh, sure it is.
They have to be served. Why does somebody have to come to my office or my work and let everybody know what's going on in my life? You can't. It's
embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, and it's set up. And we need some good legislators to get together and to look at this court system. We said that 2.5 to 3 years ago.
This is why there's documentaries out there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why filmmakers who are biologists, who are making $500,000, $1 million, are quitting their profession to get the word out on the street that this is unacceptable.
Right.
And that
one judge decides everybody's life based on what one guy says against them, and another for 15 minutes.
I always have a problem when there's not a process of numerous people voting on something or a jury.
Right.
When the judge is the jailer, and the executioner.
All in one.
All in one.
No, that's important.
I have an issue. That's a 3-in-1. It's too much responsibility for them. And if they have it out for you, then you're just cooked.
And that brings to a good point. Like when the majority of people usually get it right. Like, and I'm going to bring up the casino bill because I think that is something that we're all going to get right. I'm feeling that bill. We're going to repeal the casino, and we're going to send Wynn back to Vegas where he came from. And I can tell you why, because it's exactly what you're talking about. But it makes a difference. You can persuade it if people get together, and that's something that it has to be looked at. Like it's a procedure that needs to be lightened up. That's not so argumentative and confrontational. And it's a divorce. It didn't work out. We still have children. We talked about the difference of calling an ex-wife versus a former wife, former spouse, because you still had a relationship with them. The whole word ex sounds bad from the beginning.
It does.
So that means we were brother-in-laws. Now you're my ex-brother-in-law. Did you put an X on my head? I don't understand how that works. And I think the whole process from the church recognizing divorce, that you simply can't get along, and that you're going to have different faiths. So, I mean, there's got to be, I think the whole stigma needs to get erased from people. And I got to tell you, I know people personally that have gotten divorced that are good guys that are not with women because they're, I don't know. I just don't understand.
Well, it seems to me that we're at, if not above, 50% of all marriages ending up in divorce.
More than that now.
It's more than 50 now?
Yeah, it's up to like 58.
Is it really? It's bordering on 60. I mean, but for me, it's not that unusual, and you would find people out there who are just finding ways to make money on this. It's booming. Business is booming.
And the thing
I'm not
is,
saying
too,
it's right, but it's people's feelings are involved, and you go into it from an emotional perspective. They end up getting taken to the cleaners.
Well, guys, marriage is a business. It's like anything else because there's a lot of money, two parties putting in money and time and effort. But the funny thing is, and I'm going to play this little clip for Ryan's going to do that for me in a second, is about the prenups. People are like, oh, I'll just put a prenup. Well, to me, what that's saying, and I heard this today on one of the clips, but I've said this for years. The institution of a prenup already is setting bad footing into relationships. It's basically like saying, I want to get married to you, but I don't really trust you.
Right.
I don't trust you with my assets or that you won't turn crazy and come back and take everything. It's an educated risk you got to take if you're going to get married. My thing is, if you're not ready to get married or there's any doubts, if there's doubts for a prenup, then don't get married.
Do it.
Don't get married.
I agree. I can't agree with you any more than that. I mean, that's although, I mean, I don't have a prenup, and I had no intention.
You have a prenup?
No, I have a beautiful wife. I never even thought about it. But
no, and you're done pretty well for yourself.
If you're in a second marriage or something, I mean, you're in a second marriage. It's more of a lot of these. You got kids involved. I don't want and then
just don't get married.
Well, no, I mean, there's got to be situations where you're older and you want somebody in your life, but you have children and you want to will everything back to them or whatever it is.
Well, then make a trust. Make a trust.
A trust,
right? That would protect.
Yeah, that's a good. You know what? Here's a much better. Right. That's a much better wordage because the Lord gives us our tongue. And that's it's all about how you present.
How you present it.
That's so true. Like if you made that arrangement and take the lawyers out of it and just say, okay, let's just go over here for a second.
Something happens.
No lawyers, no courts. We're going to go in like God's will over here. All right. Let's have an agreement that we can both agree to. Okay. So you start the marriage out at this, and if it doesn't work, why can't we talk about how we can still stay friends? Because how do we still stay friends and have these conversations and have some kind of, I don't know if you have to call it an agreement or a solution to if it happens, because, and I think you should do that in business too, because if you're going to go into a business relationship, there's got to be a way out.
Well, here's a funny thing in Scandinavia, which I know
besides death, right?
But in Scandinavia, which is a different country, their divorce system's totally different than ours. They have still 50% divorce rates, but they're cleaner divorces because there's no lawyers and there's no courts.
Wow.
It's all done through paperwork. So the government gets
just like a registry,
right?
All right.
And from the time they get the paperwork, you have 6 months to either get your marriage back together, or at the end of the 6 months, you inform them we can't get back together. And then they are the ones that they're the ones that make the decisions for you, which they say in Scandinavia, this is a wonderful blueprint.
I think that's a great idea.
It doesn't necessarily deter people from divorce.
It might, though, with the 6 month waiting period.
But they still have 50%. So they still have a 50% rate of divorce.
But it might be 50% happier because they know they have a simple way to get out of it.
You know what it does, Paul, is it to me what it does is it doesn't have all that name calling between the lawyer. Like in my situation with the mother of my children, I was 31 years old. I was a kid. She got this Duxbury lawyer who is very well known in Marshfield, who made it personal and was getting me, I'm an emotional guy. He would purposely get under my skin.
Yeah. And he knew how to do it.
He knew how exactly
how to do it. Yeah, because he's got your kids, he's got all the dirt on you,
And I really didn't have much dirt, but what he had was my most prized commodity, my children.
Right.
And he knew what I wanted was equal time.
And he knew what buttons to push.
Exactly.
That's my point.
And he knew that my money was going to put his kids through college and that I would keep on fighting till I got my equal custody, which I never did. But it took me 3 or 4 years because I didn't give up. When it comes to your kids
and that money could have went towards your kids.
Their education now, we're both paying the consequences for that bad separation. But like you said, the words like ex is a bad connotation. Things like having constables come to your back door and work is bad.
Right.
How about her lawyer would say in front of the judge all the time, this man is always fighting. First of all, we weren't fighting. There were disagreements. Can't you use the word disagreement instead of fight? because fight makes it sound like you're on the floor beating the hell out of each other.
Right.
They were disagreements.
Right.
Have some class.
Right.
The guy was a bozo.
Right.
He was an
Use the word
bozo.
fight. Yeah.
Use a disagreement, have some semblance of class and intelligence.
Right.
But he would just completely insult my intelligence to the point where we were, and my lawyer would say, you know what? He's won already, Brian, because he's baiting you, and now you're paying me, and then I'm filing this motion, he's filing that motion. Right. It's got to go on forever. And guess what it cost me? It cost me $70,000.
Right. And you know what? You're so right. This would be so simple to do through paperwork.
It would.
And it would be like, why don't you can easily ask people, I mean, you got these companies that do this for a living, that with judging people if they're honest and blah, blah. You just give them a couple of questions. Maybe you give the woman maybe 25 questions.
They make it
maybe
simple.
give the guy 5.
You know what they do is
that's all he can figure out.
They send an independent party to each person, like a guardian ad litem, and they talk to each party. They figure it out,
right?
And if there's an appeal, there's an appeal. But it seems like it works. Like you don't hear those bad names about each other. So, and I think that really is like 75% of all the bad will in these divorces and these separations. Hey, Ryan, why don't we pull up the next clip? This has to do with prenups, where there's always this misconception that they work. Check this out, Ryan.
When you file for divorce, you'll be shocked to find out how little your prenuptial agreement actually does.
I, as an individual, do not believe in prenuptial agreements. We prepare them all the time. We represent people who are engaged in negotiating them all the time. It's part of what we do. But personally, I don't believe in them. The existence of a prenuptial agreement starts the marriage out in a bad light. It's a marriage that's starting out with one of the parties saying to the other, I really love you, but I don't trust you, so I want you to sign something that says this is what's mine or this is what's yours.
You go get a prenup and you think everything's great. Well, you better make sure you know exactly what you're doing, because the big game now is who can bust the prenup.
We drew up a prenuptial agreement. I had it reviewed by an attorney. It was rock solid. How could they be entitled to look at my financials?
You can't dictate in your premarital agreement the amount of child support, and you can't dictate who will have the children.
Custody will always be something that could be modified. So you could resolve the entire case, and then 2 years later, somebody could come back and say, custodial schedule is not working, and there needs to be a change.
The divorce process in the United States can be so complicated that even the best contracts can't stand up against the court system. To learn more shocking truths, see Divorce Corp the movie, coming to theaters this January. What do you think about divorce? Like, subscribe, and comment below. Join the movement and help reform the family courts. Only together can we change the system.
The birth of this show comes from the dysfunction of the family court and the dysfunction of lawyers. Like I said, there's some good ones out there. I'll tell you, man. If you had to give me a percentage, I'd say 70% are sharks and snakes.
It's interesting. I remember.
That's a lot.
I don't have too much.
He's just kidding our attorney friends out there. We love you. I have a lot of
they
friends.
They know who they are.
Well, I mean, there's
the good ones.
Absolutely.
30% are great.
Our friends.
A needed commodity. I mean, the attorneys help a lot of people all the time.
They do.
However, I think it wouldn't be a stretch to say they help themselves the most of the time. And I think that
totally agreed.
No, it's because of the system, the way it's set up.
Both.
You know what? Also, you could say that about real estate brokers. If you're going into the real estate broker and they're going to sell you a house and you're going to buy it and I'm going to get 2.5%, and you're going to buy it and I'm going to get 5%. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Sure.
What's going on over there? And you're going to give me your house to sell?
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely true. However, if you look at divorce attorneys, they're preying on the failure of a contract, but it's not just a contract on paper. There's love. There's physical, emotional relationships that have to be broken down in order for this man or woman, this attorney, to have a job, to make money. So what they want to do is, just like you said, Brian, it wasn't a disagreement. It was a fight. He's always fighting. Their job is to throw the gasoline on the fire to make it seem so much worse.
I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up.
My son asked me the other day what a lawyer was, and I said they're a voice for you. And that's what it is. I mean, and God bless them for doing what they're doing. They're protecting their client. And I got to be honest, if I'm representing a woman and I'm going to use words such as like to make you sound bully and this, and you're going to use words against her, calling her demanding and all these other words. And that's the thing. You're right, Brian, because if I get hit up with one of those words, now I'm going to piss you off. That's another word. Here's another word, and there's another word. You already got fuel on the fire.
Something else, just another side of this. I have a good friend who went through a divorce, and she and her husband went through almost 2 years of court dates and postponements and court dates and postponements. And what they ended up with was so close to where they were at the beginning. Anyway, the money, the time, the energy, it was just absurd. And it was all over petty little arguments about this, about that, about painting the house this color, little stuff.
So, Brian, where could
we got to get to a commercial break. I'm sorry. It's running late.
No worries.
We'll get back to this on the flip side. Plus, we have a lot of giveaways. 781-837-4900. 781-837-4900. We're going to get right back to this after commercial break.
Hi, this is Robert Lamb with Chicago. You're listening to my friend Brian Stratton and me on 95.9 WATD.
Experience the Atlantis Sports Club difference. Atlantis Sports Club and Spas are located throughout Massachusetts, including locations in Braintree, Holbrook, and Hyannis, featuring state-of-the-art cardiovascular and strength training equipment, plus indoor and outdoor pools and full-service spas. Atlantis offers something for everyone. How about Zumba, spinning, and strength training classes, swim lessons for the kids, or a luxurious spa treatment? Your Atlantis membership allows access to all locations. Atlantis Braintree, located off the highway across from the South Shore Plaza, features beautiful indoor and outdoor pools. You'll find the newest Holbrook location next to Stop and Shop with plenty of parking and a spacious floor plan. Take a mini vacation at Atlantis Sports Club and Spa in Hyannis. Play golf, then relaxed by the resort-style pool. End the day with a relaxing treatment at the spa at Atlantis. Mention this ad and receive 20% off any spa treatment. Experience the Atlantis difference today. Visit AtlantisSportsClubs.com and book your tour today.
Hey, it's Brian Stratton, and I'd like to talk to you about Mamma Mia's restaurant. With 5 convenient locations around the South Shore, you don't have to drive far to enjoy delicious Italian cuisine, just the way you like it. Whether you're in Carver, Plymouth, Hanover, Kingston, or the new location in Green Harbor, Mamma Mia's is something to please any palate. Catering, gift cards, and takeout are available 7 days a week. Contact Mamma Mia's online at mamamias.net. That's mamamias.net.
Citizens for Children's Safety is an organization founded on the South Shore in the winter of 2013. Our main focus is to keep schools safe across the country. Our belief is the presence of police resource officers in the school system would help minimize the potential issues that surround this nation's schools. In the past few years, drugs and school shooting attacks have plagued several schools across the country. Please visit our website, citizensforchildrensafety.org, for more details about how you can get involved.
The law office of Philip M. Markella is a full-service law firm with a focus on family and divorce law. When your marriage dissolves, Phil's office will help you navigate those often rough waters. They'll represent your interests with respect and compassion. The law office of Philip M. Markella also assists with estate planning, real estate transactions, and adoptions. Get in touch with the law office of Philip M. Markella, 19 Depot Street, Duxbury. Their telephone number, 781-934-7977, 781-934-7977, and on the web at markellalaw.com. That's MARKELLA law.com.
Fun, clear, fast, easy, cosmetic.
Just 6 months. 6-month braces. Get started today. Call Dr. Will at Lux Smile in Marshfield at 781-399-4920.
Hello, folks.
Ed Brown from the Snug. Known as the home of the perfect pint, the Snug is located in historic downtown Hingham at 116 North Street. A quaint yet exciting Irish-style pub, we offer breakfast on the weekends, lunch and dinner 7 days a week, with daily lunch and dinner specials. The Snug features a state-of-the-art European draft system with 14 European and domestic microbrews on tap. If you appreciate acoustic classic rock, we feature a variety of local musicians. Join us every Monday at 5:30 for our traditional Irish session. Visit us online at snugpub.com for our complete entertainment schedule. Remember, the Snug is a place where good friends and families come together to enjoy great food, live music, and always the perfect pint.
Seven 818-374-4900. Friends with Benefits here. Round table with Gabe and Paul on a Wednesday night here. We have on the line divorce attorney Mark Greene. Mark, how you doing?
I was doing pretty well, actually, until I started listening to your show about 10 minutes ago.
Beautiful. What do you got?
Well, I was really stunned at how much miscommunication and misinformation that you guys have been just sort of spouting off the past 15 minutes.
All right, far away, Mark. What do you got?
Well, all you need to do is play back the tape, excluding the commercial break, to see what your opinion is of divorce attorneys.
That's an opinion, Mark.
Oh, I understand that, but usually,
well, this is an opinion-based program.
No, I understand that, but usually opinion is based somewhat on fact.
Well,
what was hi, Mark? How are you tonight?
I was doing well, as I mentioned a minute ago.
No, hey, thanks for calling. Thanks for calling. No, I mean, honestly, I don't think he was talking about the people. It's the system that sets up that makes the system wrong. And I have to say, I agree with. I don't know if you agree with the subject that we were talking about, and that's the way the system is, and the way it's worded, and it's confrontational, and it could lead into throwing more gasoline on the fire. I think that's what he was trying to say.
I'm not sure that's what he was trying to say, but...
Well, what do you think, Mark? What do you think we were trying to say?
You're going to have to let me speak for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. First of all, you quote this system, end quote. I'm not sure what system, end quote, really means. If you're talking about the family and probate court in Plymouth County, I completely disagree with you. So let's begin there. The second thing is, I don't really think he was talking about the system. I think he was quite clearly talking about attorneys and in general, divorce attorneys.
So where's your disagreement, Mark?
Well, your opinion was they're a bunch of snakes.
What was the percentage I said?
What percentage?
Yeah.
I don't know where you get it, but where?
No, but were you listening? You said you were listening. What's the percentage I gave?
You listened to it, and you're the one that spoke it.
No, but you're refuting it, so tell me what I said.
Yeah, but Mark.
We're going to argue about what your percentage is? Is that what you want to do?
No, you just said you took in some information.
Yeah.
So I want to know what information you took in that you disagree with.
Well,
I gave out a percentage.
Let me ask you this. Let's be clear so that everybody out there understands it. What percentage did you say?
So you don't know what I said. So this is where my problem is. Please,
I can understand.
You got to call in with an informed call.
Look. You have. I don't know where you come from. I don't know what you do.
Exactly.
But it clearly hasn't got anything to do with family law in Plymouth County. I don't know what.
We're talking about the United States, my friend.
Well, I don't know about the United States.
Right.
And quite frankly, my friend, neither do you.
Sure I do. I watch tons of documentaries.
Well, look, you probably listen to Fox, too.
So wait a minute. No, Mark, let me ask you something. With what was played, are you saying that isn't a portrayal of the family court, what he's playing from Divorce Corporation? You don't think that's has any valid to what it's saying, besides all the other stuff that you guys were just talking about? The bottom line is, do you think the system is set up correctly?
Once again, I'm not so sure what you mean by system.
The court system. What do you mean? You said you're an attorney. You don't know what a system is? It's a court system. Okay. Have you been listening to the show? I mean, we're talking about the court system and how it's set up. It's set up to fail.
You can continue to talk, or you can listen for just a second.
Well, listen.
If you're talking about, quote, a system, and you're talking about the rules of domestic procedure, then I'll talk with you.
Okay. Let's talk.
Okay.
Hey Mark, how's the restraining order thing working out?
Which restraining are you talking about? Are you talking about 209A? What are you talking about?
209A, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
What kind of a restraining order are you speaking of?
One that gets thrown on a guy or a woman in the heat of battle and sits there and has to be sustained over a certain amount of time when it has no validity.
When it has no validity, according to who? Every defendant and every single defendant in a 209A, they will claim that there's no validity.
So you think
are you taking a plaintiff's perspective or are you taking a defendant's perspective?
So you think that's a proper procedure, how that works?
How obtaining a 209 restraining order works?
Not just obtaining, but sustaining.
Sustaining in terms of a judge's determination whether it's factually true or incorrect?
Correct.
Yes. You only have that. There is no other consideration. You have a judge that listens to the plaintiff.
So do you think a judge should be
listen to me for a second?
Let them talk.
Listens to the plaintiff and listens to the defendant and makes a determination based on the veracity of each of the parties.
So
what other system would possibly work better?
Well, I have a problem when one person is the judge, the juror, and the executioner a lot of the time.
Not an executioner. They don't execute anybody.
They don't send anybody to jail?
Court.
Well, basically, you know what I'm talking about. It's tongue-in-cheek. They don't send people to jail?
I don't think it's tongue-in-cheek at all. I think a restraining order in a 209A is extremely un-tongue-in-cheek as you can be.
Mark, with all due respect,
yeah?
Right now, the way these divorces go and these conflicts in court, the only person they aid are the attorneys, generally.
Can you name the judges in Plymouth County?
Sure. You want me to start?
Yeah, I would like it.
Which ones? Which ones for the family law?
Yeah.
Starting with Judge Roberts or Judge Stanton or Sabatis or Livingstone, who's retired now, or do you want me to keep going?
He's retired now, so he's not on the bench.
Right. And Judge Doherty, who's passed on. I can keep going. Do you want me to keep going?
Doherty hasn't been on the bench in 15 years.
That's my point. Is I'm going through names, man. Judge Menno.
Judge Menno isn't even in practice here. He practices in Norfolk County.
Yeah, but he was there.
About.
Listen, I know 15 judges, 15
you
names
don't know any,
over the last 10 years.
I just asked you a question about who the judges are in Plymouth County, and you were wrong 50% of the time.
So okay, Judge Sabatis, Judge Roberts. So far, Judge Stanton. Those three, right?
Keep going.
Wait. There's only 4.
Who's coaching you?
There's only 4. Who's coaching me?
Judge Ward.
Judge Ward.
Been?
Judge Ward's new, by the way. Judge Ward's. Do you know why you know so well? Because you're down there every single day.
And where are you?
Not down there, believe me.
So
trying to stay away from there.
Exactly. We do with our best to stay away from there.
How is it that you can make these generalizations and opinions when you haven't even been there?
Sure.
You don't even know who the courts are. You don't know who the judges are, and you come up with these...
I just named 3 out of the 4 judges. What are you talking about?
I don't think that has anything to do with what we're talking about. You guys are talking about, like, Plymouth County. We're talking about basically in general of the way it's set up. Mark, and I thought that's why you were calling. If you called to get in an argument on, like, everybody and where they came from, I really don't care. I'm not here to waste anybody's time. We're here to talk about the system. Mark, do you think, just answer a question, or you can just hang up, please.
Listen for a minute. You don't understand that each one of these counties, did you hang up?
No, we're here.
Okay. Each one of these counties, especially in Massachusetts, is set up differently. Each judge has extreme judicial discretion on many, many cases. To generalize what happens in Plymouth County against Norfolk County, against Suffolk County, versus what happens in Massachusetts, what happens in the United States, is completely wrong.
So you're saying each one of them has a different process?
Each one of them has a, yes.
So you're saying that we're saying in general, is it different in Norfolk County if you get divorced, a sheriff doesn't come to you and give you papers? Is that how it does? What happens? You get something in the mail?
All right. Now you want to talk about the rules of domestic procedure.
He's talking about the process, Mark.
The whole time. You call it a system, a process, whatever you want to call.
Listen, Mark, and listen. We're not putting down the judges. They're doing what they have to do with a script that they got to work with. And it's not a great script. Basically,
that's not true.
There is some discretion. There is discretion.
No,
but for the most part, there is a blueprint that they have to follow.
Hold on a second. It's not just some discretion. You understand that when a judge is the sole, as you would say, judge, jury, and executioner, there's extreme discretion. And in family court, as in probate court, as in equity court, anywhere where the judge is the sole decider, if you will, on what's true, what's untrue, and what breaks the law, He has to have that kind of discretion. And in family law is the same thing. And each county and each judge is looking into his own personal opinion, his own personal experiences to come up with what I believe is fair given the circumstances that I have seen today. There is no other way. There is no other system. I'm not going to tell you it's perfect. There's no such perfect system. There isn't a perfect system anywhere in the world.
Right. Gabe wants to say something. He's kept quiet. So, Gabe, what do you got?
The point is that these judges, on a day-to-day basis, do the very, very best they can. And for the most part, and I can tell you...
We don't doubt that, Mark. Once again, I have to interrupt you. I have to interrupt you. We do not doubt that the judges are doing the best they can do. And there are guidelines, Mark. That's what they're called. They're called guidelines. And that's what they go through.
All the time.
Okay? So basically, we know what we're talking about. We've been down there.
About that.
Well, you know what?
See, you argue for a living. Can we go on? Can we get another call, please? We got to move on.
But thanks, Mark, for calling.
Mark.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Wow. All right. Well, you know,
that was the first. That was the first. Like,
there's a divorce attorney for you.
Argument I've ever heard. I mean, like, wow, that was. That
well, that's what it's saying. So sometimes it can get that confrontational. Sometimes when you're
I would want to just pay money just to tell him to shut up. I'm just kidding, Mark. I know you're still listening.
You know what?
I'm just saying, in general.
I'm sure he's a very effective divorce attorney.
Absolutely,
no doubt about it.
He'll fight for you.
You know what's
forever.
interesting is that I think we started with a point in the ballpark of. These attorneys are really, they have to do their job well to create curry in favor of their client. Well, his point that the judge has a lot of discretion or has a huge amount of discretion, in my book, lends itself to exactly that. If the judge can his or herself make the decision based on what they see in front of them, then the attorney with his skill, her abilities should create any type of scenario they can to make that better for their client. So they're going to throw gasoline on the fire. They're going to do what they can to get the judge to lean in their favor. So I think
that whole conversation was so useless.
Well,
it just basically took 20 minutes out of my life. I mean, if that was anything to do with we have so much other stuff to talk about. It's the process. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Charlie Baker's comment today.
Well, we're going to have to go to commercial break because that was kind of a long segment here.
Okay.
But like I said, let's get back to the executive summary of what we've tried to do today. Is the judges have guidelines. They work the best around the perimeters. There's a box that they can work through. There's only so much they can go outside of that box. Is that you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Now, I don't need to be spoken condescendingly by a divorce attorney because I know 50 divorce attorneys, and I know 3 of the 4 judges down in Plymouth. And by the way, they work their butts off.
Right.
It's a hard job, believe me. They don't just work when you see them on the bench. They're at home. They're doing their research. They're looking at paperwork. It's tough. So we were talking about divorce attorneys. We weren't talking about judges. So we got to go to commercial break. You're listening to 95.9 WATD.
Experience the Atlantis Sports Club difference. Atlantis Sports Club and Spas are located throughout Massachusetts, including locations in Braintree, Holbrook, and Hyannis, featuring state-of-the-art cardiovascular and strength training equipment, plus indoor and outdoor pools and full-service spas. Atlantis offers something for everyone. How about Zumba, spinning, and strength training classes, swim lessons for the kids, or a luxurious spa treatment? Your Atlantis membership allows access to all locations. Atlantis Braintree, located off the highway across from the South Shore Plaza, features beautiful indoor and outdoor pools. You'll find the newest Holbrook location next to Stop and Shop with plenty of parking and a spacious floor plan. Take a mini vacation at Atlantis Sports Club and Spa in Hyannis. Play golf, then relax by the resort-style pool. End the day with a relaxing treatment at the spa at Atlantis. Mention this ad and receive 20% off any spa treatment. Experience the Atlantis difference today. Visit AtlantisSportsClubs.com and book your tour today. The law office of Philip M. Markella is a full-service law firm with a focus on family and divorce law. When your marriage dissolves, Phil's office will help you navigate those often rough waters. They'll represent your interests with respect and compassion. The law office of Philip M. Markella also assists with estate planning, real estate transactions, and adoptions. Get in touch with the law office of Philip M. Markella, 19 Depot Street, Duxbury. Their telephone number, 781-948-8255. 781-934-7977. 781-934-7977. And on the web at markellalaw.com. That's MARKELLA law.com.
Citizens for Children's Safety is an organization founded on the South Shore in the winter of 2013. Our main focus is to keep schools safe across the country. Our belief is the presence of police resource officers in the school system would help minimize the potential issues that surround this nation's schools. In the past few years, drugs and school shooting attacks have plagued several schools across the country. Please visit our website, citizensforchildrensafety.org, for more details about how you can get involved.
Impressions Detailing of Duxbury is your #1 source for auto detailing on the South Shore. Owner Mike Ferreira and his staff have years of auto detailing experience. Located next to Jeeps and Buggies on 1474 Tremont Street of Duxbury, Impressions Detailing also provides window tinting and headlight restoration. They service sedans, small SUVs, and large SUVs or trucks. Contact Impressions Detailing at 781-934-2935 or by email at impressionsdetail@yahoo.com. That telephone number again, 781-934-2935. Impressions Detailing of Duxbury. Be a part of the show. 781-837-4900.
I'm going around the country. I'm trying to get as many people as I can not to get married. I promise never to get married. I've been married, and I'm just trying to help. Okay. Somebody here that's never been married? You never been married? What's your name? Michael? Well, Michael, if you ever think about getting married, if you ever think you've met the right woman, you want to settle down, change your life, will you do me a favor, Mike? Remember this face. Because if you get married, Mike, that's going to be your face every day. It's the face of every married man. He wakes up in the morning. It's the truth, man. He wakes up in the morning, he goes to the mirror, he looks in it and goes, "Ah! What did I do to my life? It's true, folks.
And the #1 reason your woman's always mad, fellas, the #1 reason your woman is pissed, because you ain't her first choice. Fellas, you ever catch your woman just looking at you, but not saying nothing? In her mind, she's thinking, how did I end up with this ugly mother? Oh, Lord, this mother ugly and stupid. I had a good man and I blew it. Damn, Lord, kill my man. Kill him, please. Kill him while I still look good enough to get something new. Please kill this mother. Now, strike him. Strike him. If you out there, Lord, strike this mother dead.
95.9 WATD. Friends of Benefits. We're coming upon the Blues Show in a little while, but 781-837-4900. We have a gift certificate right now. If you want to call, number 3 caller will take to the Jetty in Brant Rock. It's a $25 gift card. The Jetty is in Brant Rock, right on the Esplanade, which is next to Green Harbor, part of Marshfield. It's a new place. It's beautiful. It has a Nantucket kind of feel inside with surfboards and great food, great gluten-free menu. Beautiful, great brunch, entertainment on the weekends.
I got to check that place out. I've heard a couple good things about it.
Brand spanking new. They're going to be in the next couple weeks to we can sample some of their food.
Oh, great. That'd be great.
Yes, but 781-837-4900. We're giving you a $25 gift card to the Jetty. 781-837-4900. That's caller number 3. And we're going to summarize some of this stuff. Paul, let's talk about what you got there.
Oh, hold on. Maybe I can... Yeah.
A number of key issues on this, and therefore I felt it was time for the commissioner to resign.
All of it underscores the importance of women in this race. Even though...
Talking about Charlie Baker today, he basically called Sherman Sacchetti he called her a sweetheart.
Who is she?
She's a news reporter.
Well, maybe she is a sweetheart, is she?
He apologized.
Knows something we don't know.
He apologized, and it was something that, I feel bad for him because it's something that's going to hurt him. He's trying to come back with the Women for Charlie. He was at an event. Sherman Schetti asked him then, and this is where he probably messed up, not calling her so much of a sweetheart, but he didn't talk about Roger Goodell. They tried to get a statement from him if he should be fired or not. And he said, well, I haven't had all the facts. What does he care about Roger? What does he care about that guy for? How did he even say, give me the facts? What was he thinking even in that comment? It's... So what do you think? I mean, Gabe, what do you think about...
listen, I'm of the mind that, when you're in the public eye like that, you need to be very careful with every word that comes out of your mouth. However... I'd like to hear what he said and specifically the context. If he was, looking down to her and saying, "Listen, sweetheart."
No, exactly, and it wasn't that. It was just as a father that has daughters. You just, "Hey, sweetheart." I don't think he meant it in any way, but they're gonna jump all over him on this.
Right.
As a politician, you really got to watch your words. As anybody in the public eye, you've got to watch your words. Do we have a contest winner, by the way? Do we have are they on the line?
Hey.
Here we are.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Who are we talking to?
Fran Marcy.
Hey, Fran, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So, have you heard of the Jetty restaurant yet?
I actually sampled their beef salad there one day. A couple weeks ago.
Excellent. So you have officially won the gift card. So if you can give your address to Ryan, our board op, we'll send that right off to you, and you can get over there and enjoy some of that great food that they have to offer.
That's very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Fran. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Fran.
Thank you.
So back to before Fran won our gift card
Baker.
here.
I mean, if you're in the public
you got to watch.
You got to watch it. I was just in the break. I was telling Paul that today I was talking to someone at work and I called her honey, but I said it in the midst of a sentence. I was like, "Listen, honey, we got to make sure," blah, 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 whatever I was saying. To me, it was a term of endearment. Like, I wanted her to understand that I'm her friend and we're doing this together.
But in this case, I think they thought it was condescending. Maybe?
No. I think that's exactly how he said it. He said he respects her, and he called her up and said, "Look, I respect you as a reporter. I thought we were friendly friends." And right. I mean, you don't usually talk to a friend with the camera going. And did she really need to play that too, like bring it on against him? I thought that was, you couldn't let that roll off your shoulder. Right. You have to bring it out to everybody in the. It was a slip up. It wasn't condescending, like you said. And if it was, then maybe it wouldn't have made Huffington Post. I mean, this is a national scene that he made. I mean, and Martha Coakley's now going to be able to jump on the fact that, look at him, he can't make a decision, and he doesn't love women. And in fact, I've met the guy, and I got to tell you, he's a true person. He's trying to take a more of a liberal stand to try to get to reach out to women. So he's trying more so than I see. So what if Martha Coakley called me honey? I mean, how many times do older women call us honey?
She'd have to get her eyesight checked if she called Paul honey.
No, but what's the point is do you agree with that? I mean, how many times do women call us honey? You want some tea with you, honey? You go into a restaurant?
Right.
Honey. I mean,
that happens all the time, but again, more with me than you guys.
Probably. Especially Brian. No one's calling him. Especially the last caller.
They don't call me at all.
One of the things that's worse about this is that Baker was at a Women for Charlie benefit. It was specifically for that reason.
Exactly. And how does he not? And you're right. How does he not say fire the guy? Why not? I mean,
I'm with you on that.
Like, who's got around him? Who's
just sitting on the fence? He's sitting on the fence.
But he wants this. I mean, I gotta tell you something. He's out there working for it. I mean, this guy, he's a good guy.
Well, the answers like that, you ain't going to get.
But he's not going to get it. Yeah, exactly. I just hope that people don't judge him just on that comment. I don't like some of his positions, especially with him saying that he's not going to repeal the casinos, even if he's just for one. So I mean, politically, I don't know if I agree with him, but it's just sad to see that happen.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Gabe. You're listening to Brian Stratton, Friends with Benefits. Tonight, we're going to get over to Peter Black and the Wide World of Blues. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week.